Let's begin the second week of RPG A Day 2021. Today, Sunday, it's August 8th. It's day 8 of the event. And our word today, our single prompt, is the meaningfully mutable word, stream. Well, let's begin. Stream. For a lot of new gamers, at the start of their journey down the stream of their first few RPG titles, as they're carried on currents of laughter and companionship toward the vast ocean of RPG titles beyond. The notion that the games we play were private, ephemeral, and transient affairs, that the moment they were played lived on only, and only for a while, in the memories of the few participants who played, well, that might never occur to them. While play is still mainly a small group activity, appreciation of play has been thrown open to the world as a matter of course. Privacy of play, for a large and growing number of players, has become optional. Now, instead of having only one option, that what we play can only survive in our memories, now we can opt for celebration and sharing instead. The gamers listening to this podcast or reading the blog, and especially those catching it later in compilation form on YouTube, are well aware of the force of the impact streaming has had on the hobby. For this post, I want to share 3 things that I appreciate about streaming and the technology that allows it. First, it defeats death and forgetfulness. Second, it expands our ability to learn and grow as gamers. And finally, it demystifies the process of play for the curious. Recording of sessions has grown more and more common. This is not new technology, but in a sense in gaming it's something of a new phenomenon. What I appreciate about this change in how we play is that the memory of what we play and what we do with play and how we did that and who was there and what they said and how they laughed and the bonds that formed, and all of these things can now remain, where once they would vanish as soon as they came, and they will remain as long as the electricity flows. Now not even death can steal the memories. It's harsh to say, but true. Gaming is a social activity. It requires people, and the people that we play with are no less mortal than we are. At some point, there will be an empty seat, and then another, and finally only silence, where once there was a clatter of dice and dreams. Now, unlike not all that long ago, visions of the past can be summoned by those who survive and those who follow. This isn't a seance or a delusion. This is now a matter of simple, everyday consumer electronics and basic services. Gamers use these recordings as an archive. They use them for gifts, for promotional material, for making new connections with gamers they discover have a passion for the same games. It is like magic or time travel in the way it can make the momentary and fleeting permanent and shareable. But all of that is an ideal elixir from which can flow the insight and information needed to see how we play, to identify how it differs from how we want to play, or how a given game is best played with us as its players. Even better, it helps us revive games from hiatus or games we haven't touched in years with the click of a mouse and a sudden dose of intensified digital memory. The advent of stable and affordable video conferencing has pushed this even further. We can play any game, anytime, with friends or with strangers. In a sense, the treat of going to a convention, a rare or impossible treat for many gamers, has been given stiff competition in that now we can do as much, see as much, play as much, and yet stay at home. We can save money for more games rather than buy travel tickets and spend it on hotels. It's funny when you think about it. We now have the power to stay at home while our games travel around the world. What makes this good for not just us is that those who are curious about play, but are among the first in their social circles to want to try it, can see games, lots of games, played. They can see what the words on the page mean. They can pick up the cultures of play. They can gain a sense of the traditions, the in-jokes, the beloved qualities of the hobby, and they can see the many, many holes still left in that grand puzzle of gaming where they and their friends belong. If you'd like to hear more along this line, if you'd like to follow along a sort of video essay in 4 parts, then there's a playlist at the blog that you'll be able to find embedded with the text or in the show notes of this podcast. And it's a playlist on the Runeslinger YouTube channel called Seeking a Tao of Play. Well, let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 9th day of RPG A Day. The primary prompt for tomorrow, Monday, August 9th, is medium. And the supporting prompts are role, with an E, emotion, and percentage. Lots to think about there. Thank you for listening to the Casting Shadows podcast, an extension of the Casting Shadows blog found at castingshadowsblog.com and of our YouTube channel, which is called Runeslinger.